Gutierrez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Our student is not here today, so
7:13.
7:15. Action to determine closed session, student expulsion hearing, 11-23-24. Action for consideration of violation of California Educational Code 48900C and 48900K. In addition, 48915B1 states that due to the nature of the violation, other means of correction are not feasible and have repeatedly failed to bring about proper conduct.
Should be a motion to expel the student and suspend the expulsion order.
Okay,
Second.
second by Sonny, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Procedural issues, the recording of this meeting is being made, shall be kept for 30 days as a public record. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Ready, begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, I'm here, Sonny's here, Mario's here, Dwayne is absent. Adrian's here, and Madison is at an FAA conference. She is not here.
FFA.
Yeah, FFA. Very, very active in FFA. So at least we know we have an active student board member here. Approve agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second by Brendan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, reports, communications, Cadet Corps, presentation from Captain Wallace. Sir, you're up.
Good evening, Skanes and board. I am Cadet Major Ryan Melchers, 273rd Battalion Commander. First of all, I'd like to say it's a great honor to be here tonight to explain to you guys what we have been doing and what we plan on doing. I would like to start off by thanking all of you for letting us do what we need to do with our transportation and getting us to and from places so that we may continue to produce leaders in California. We have had several highlights so far, along with starting our very first cadet boot camp, where many cadets, including Cadet First Class Albanez, has just taken off because of it. They've learned many great things such as saluting, military bearing, military drill, and overall structure of the California Cadet Corps. I would like to convince our Major Cruz to come up and explain summer encampment and survival.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gaines and members of the board. I am Cadet Command Sergeant Major Nicholas Cruz, and I am the 273rd Battalion Command Sergeant Major. Tonight, I will be talking about summer encampment and survival, which are two of the longest and hardest courses in the California Cadet Corps. I have been to summer encampment and survival, and I don't want to sugarcoat it, but it's very hard. Survival is both physically and mentally tough. It can be straining at times, but you improvise, adapt, and overcome. When you go to survival, you earn that red beret. You earn that right to say you're a cadet survivalist. At summer encampment, we have a ton of courses that are CET related. So we have medic, law enforcement. We have our drone wing, which is a new program. We also have marksmanship, which is a really cool course, but it's not a CET pathway. We also have DI and Recondo, which are the harder courses. And we've had 2 cadets pass Recondo, 3 cadets pass medic, and 3 cadets pass DI. And I personally was selected to perform exhibition in front of about 1,000 people, which is a little nerve-wracking. if you don't know what exhibition drill is, it's spinning the rifle. It's a little difficult and it takes time to learn, but it was a fun experience. And I will be followed by our security officer, Cadet Sergeant Songer.
Good evening, Ms. Gaines and board. I am Cadet Sergeant Songer, and I will be talking about our school services and our community services. We do security for the we do security for the football games, and we also do security for the cross country races. We provide road guards, medical support for the cross country and the football games. We had one incident where one of the runners weren't feeling too well in the heat, and we had one of our cadet medics over there. Probably, I would say, saved their life that day because they were not doing well. And then I would be followed by our Special Operations Officer, Cadet Staff Sergeant Lopez.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Cadet Staff Sergeant Michaela Lopez, and I am the Special Projects NCO. I will be briefing you on our community service. Our Honor Guard provided more flags for families of JT Grimes and Mr. Schmidt. We would like to continue for veteran funerals. We are very honored to support the Vietnam Wall ceremonies and photos in our classroom. We will honor many of those veterans at Wreaths Across America in December. We hope to schedule an honor flight for Henry Earns, a Korean War veteran. I am also very honored to be working with JT Grimes while we had the chance. And we are currently working on our own little veterans wall in the classroom with my assistant. And we have currently 96 pictures, veterans from teachers and more from students. And Mr. Eisen Zimmer, the construction will get them engraved on a sheet of metal. And we will have that displayed at some events. And I will be followed by our Executive Officer, Cadet OC Asusena Pelayo.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Cadet Staff Sergeant Pelayo, and I'm the Executive Officer for the 273rd Battalion. I'll be briefing you about our career events that we have attended. The first one was the Pacific Air Show, and we were with the Thunderbirds, and we were mainly in the VIP area. Many people have asked about us and want to take pictures with us. We also been to the USS Midway, and we slept there for one day. We've met special people, including Joyce, that has lived through the World War II bombings. And the recent event we've been to was XTC, Extreme Team Challenge. And one of our teams have won for third place at the state competition. And I'll be followed by Major Foster.
Good evening, Ms. Gaines and board. I'm Cadet Major Melanie Foster, and I am the 273rd Deputy Commander. I will be briefing you about our current events, our marksmanship program, medical programs, and our CERT program. So some of the things we do is our marksmanship program has been finally up and running, and we are working heavily with SLO range security officers to help us get our marksmanship started. We are also working heavily with law enforcement in the area to make sure that all safety standards are met before we have cadets on the range. Another thing that we are doing is we're making sure that each cadet, before they go on the range, passes a safety exam to make sure that we can trust them with the written knowledge before we can trust them with the physical knowledge. Another thing that we're doing is we're getting cadets CPR certified. This way they can have the cards and we can do CPR things, not just at summer encampment like Cruz talked about, but do that on a more regular basis. We are also working to send cadets to CERT, which is Community Emergency Response Team. We are sending cadets to this weekend, actually at SLO. And this way we can have more cadets that will be there for a community emergency if one were to ever happen. And then the other thing is that at a recent event, XTC, we went to PMA, which is Porterville Military Academy. Now, this academy is fairly new, but we can already see the impact it has on its state and also the community. It has brought a lot of community pathways for cadets, much more specific pathways like aviation, law enforcement, medical. It brings these career pathways to those students' everyday life while they're at school, which is also why we have started up a drone program so we can work on building some of those smaller pathways at the school and hopefully eventually have one of those XMIs like PMA out here in our area. I will be passing things back to Commander Melchers.
Right now, I would like to ask Superintendent Gaines to please come up here and help me promote a few cadets who have met the requirements so they can further explore their leadership.
Yeah, sure. So cadets, when your name is called, you can come up and salute Commander Major, Melchers, and shake Mrs. Gaines' hand. Thank you. Yes. So when we do promotions, our adjutant will say attention to orders. What that means is we all stand up at the position of attention, and we welcome you to, if you'd like to stand with us as well.
Attention to orders. 015-2324-002. The following cadet has been promoted. Mateo Bryan.
Here, ma'am.
This cadet has been promoted from the rank of OC to the rank of cadet second lieutenant.
Thank you, Brian.
Step up.
Yep.
The following cadets have been promoted. Songer, Nathan.
Here, ma'am.
Cervantes, Aphrodita.
Here, ma'am.
Alvarez, Natalia.
Here, ma'am.
Staff sergeant.
This cadet has been promoted to the rank of staff sergeant. Corporal Cervantes has just been promoted to the rank of cadet sergeant. Cadet First Class Alvarez has just been promoted to the rank of cadet corporal.
You may be seated. Thank you. We want to thank you for allowing our cadets to do this presentation. We have a short video that was produced by our Cadet Corps state staff, and it basically shows the legacy of Cadet Corps, which goes back to 1911. So you'll see some soldiers some cadets who were probably in World War I, World War II, and all the other wars our nation has been part of. You'll probably see some of them as cadets on this video.
We are family, unified, we are one, we are strong, come along with me. We are one, and we walk, and we climb, and we soar, and we shine. We are brave, we are bright, we will make for this life. When we rise, we will see. We are God, we are family. Welcome to the family. This one's for the home team. It's beside each other, sisters and our brothers. Come on, feel the fun. Come on, feel the fun. We are one, I am you, we are we. Unified solidarity. We are one, we are we. And we walk, we strive. We will crawl till we climb. It's our song, it's our time. If we fall, we will fly. When we rise, they will sing. We are family. We pick up each other. We got strength in love. Get inside. We one organism, no pain, no pride. Come on, scale the wall. Crush them all. We are blood, we are family. Unified, we are one, we are we. We are strong, we are family. We are one, we are we. It's our soul, it's our time. We will soar, we will shine. When we rise, they will see.
And now I would like to ask if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. If there are no questions, we'd like to extend our thanks one last time to the board, the superintendent, for getting us to where we need to be so these fine cadets may promote and get valuable leadership experience so they want to become leaders in California. Thank you.
We thank the Captain Walls for the presentation. And congratulations to all the cadets who received the promotion today. Next up, grade coordinator, Colin Mitchell.
Hey, good evening, board and Superintendent Gaines, fellow coworkers, families that are here and watching from home. My name is Fallon Mitchell, and I am our grant coordinator for Southwestern Unified School District. I oversee our California Community School Partnership Program grant. It's a $7.1 million grant, and it is to become a community school. And I know a lot of you are probably not familiar with what a community school is, but that is what I am here to show you. And a short video, it's less than 3 minutes.
What makes a school a great school? Caring for the whole child, expanding the the horizons of learning, building relationships with families, working together to realize a shared vision. This is a school every student needs. This is a community school. Community schools are public schools that partner with stakeholders to create the conditions students need to thrive. Community schools can be found across the United States, and their numbers are growing fast. But what exactly makes a school a community school? They integrate student supports. Clinics, counselors, and other services ensure each and every student is ready to learn. They expand and enrich learning. Extended school days, summer programs, and real-world experiences help students reach their full potential. They engage families and communities. Partnering with residents to identify and meet community needs makes everyone feel safe, welcome, and involved in school. They lead in collaboration. Inclusive decision-making and peer learning builds trust among students, educators, families, and communities. When a school stands on these 4 pillars, it's a community school. Research supports this 4-pillar approach, but there's no one-size-fits-all model. Every community school is different because each community is different. Figuring out what it looks like in your community starts by getting actual community members involved. That's the full-time job of community school coordinators. They're the human bridge connecting all the partners and stakeholders that make community schools possible. So that's what makes a school a community school. Now, how do you pay for it? Startup costs like hiring a full-time coordinator can be raised from foundations or state and local governments. Tapping into existing funding and partnering with local businesses can bring in service providers. Sharing resources and staff with partners can help everyone do more. And as a community school becomes more established, leaders can advocate for budgets that sustain their impact and new funding to expand it. Every community school is different. What will yours be like? Get started at communityschools.futureforlearning.org.
So that's the basics of a community school. And I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, well, we already do a lot of those things. We do. A lot of school districts do, especially in smaller communities like we are. But we're not quite there yet. To be a community school, this is a basic graph that shows you just that the school is the center of the community. We're the one that offers resources and services to our families based on our grading services with local businesses, faith organizations, sometimes other school districts, and making sure that the families have everything that they need so our students can learn. Because if the core needs are not met, then we know it's a little bit harder to teach if you have a student who's hungry or needs medical resources. So this is the graph. This is why I gave you guys the printout just so I don't have to go through every single slide for you. You can look at it when you have time. So my role as the community school coordinator, I'm a grant coordinator, but I'm overseeing our community school grant. I'm basically the community schools coordinator. The definition, I got this actually from our conference that we went to in New York, is an individual who works closely and plans jointly with the school's principal to drive the development and implementation of the California Community School Partnership Program effort, and who in that capacity facilitates the partnerships and coordination and integration of service delivery. And this is just a little bit of what a community school coordinator does because, again, each community school is different. So based on the needs of the community. And it was really important to me to be seen by the community, which is one of the key things. So also on top of this, I do a lot of community events. I support a lot of local businesses. I try to keep things in-house. And I'm also on the board for RMEC. Okay, so stages of development. It's a little bit different. We're used to the common stages of development whenever anything gets implemented. We start at one stage, we move to the next, and then we end. It's not like that for community schools because what we're trying to do is constantly learn. We're constantly building, we're constantly reframing. The term that we use, the definition is basically we're rebuilding the plane as we fly it because it's not that everything is broken. It's just that certain things need to be changed a little bit. So we could end up, we're going to go through the 3 steps, but at some point maybe when we're in the transforming stage and we're at where we need to be, we could drop back down. Things could change. You know, we could go through economic crises. We could lose staff members. We could change staff members. You know, our student population could change, the demographics, and that's when you have to come back to the table together and reframe things and just look at things from a different angle. This is the essentials for community school transformation. These 5 categories, if you don't have these, you're not going to be successful in becoming a community school. At the core of it is all students flourish in thriving school communities. Our students, again, are not going to learn if they're hungry, if they're needing resources and I'm telling you right now, because you guys all know we're at the bottom of Kern County. That's my biggest struggle right now is getting resources for our families and trying to create partnerships because Kern County's like, you're Kern County, but you're so far down there. And LA County's like, no, you're Kern County. So, and this is online everywhere. If you just look up the community schools framework, this will come up. So these are my support teams. This is a great position in the fact that there's support everywhere. I've been to multiple trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, and we have 2 teams for each school district that has the grant will have their regional transformational assistance center, which is like for us at Central Valley, and that would be our team at the Kern County Superintendent of Schools. All 4 of these people know me by name. They know my number when it comes up because I'm constantly in communication with them. We have a great relationship. Miss Anita Cruz is over this team, and she actually was here for our grand opening of our community center. They're all wonderful and very supportive. And then same for the state. So this is the State Transformational Assistance Center. All these people are at the ready. I can call any of these people and they will answer. They will give me the answers I need. They're there to support. I have a really great relationship with 5 of these people from the state. Again, you know, I like to talk. I like to ask questions. I want to know what I'm doing. So I'm constantly in communication with them. And because of that, because I was earlier to come in to the community school movement for California, it's not a new thing, but for California, it's relatively new. We're going into year 2 of the grant. It's a 5-year grant starting off. The state team reached out to me and said, hey, would you mind hosting one of the breakout rooms for our Zoom meeting? You know, we'll talk about what it's like to be in a rural area and just how you're going about your needs and assets assessment. And I was like, sure, thinking, there'll be a couple of people. There was over 100 people in my breakout room. And it was wonderful, but nerve-wracking. But what we do is all the coordinators, the ones who came before me, when I first started, they all reached out in Zoom meetings. They were like, we're here to support you. I had multiple meetings in Zoom, in person, where they were just supportive and giving me all their ideas and what they had done so far, what worked, what didn't. I turned around and did the same thing. So we're all paying it forward. So I now have multiple coordinators that come to me and they're like, hey, how did you do this? How are you approaching this? So it's been wonderful. And so, as you guys know, as we talked about at the last board meeting, or some of you may not, Superintendent Gaines, Robert, myself, and Ms. Cheryl Taylor had the opportunity to go to the Community Schools Fundamentals Conference in New York. New York was kind of on the ground floor for the United States of the community schools movement. So they've been doing this since the 90s. So they've got this down pretty well. And they'll even tell you they go from transforming back down again. But at the heart of it, they've got the idea and they are all working together. So this school that I visited, we each got to visit a school. I know you heard Mrs. Gaines' story. She was kind of stuck for like an hour. Unfortunately, the school I went to was in a little bit of a better area. It was a middle school. It was 4 campuses in one building. They had some shared spaces, some that weren't, operated like a well-oiled machine. But what I loved about it, the things I wanted to highlight for you guys are there was so many things about being a safe space, an open space, inclusive, like the students felt safe. And a couple of the staff I talked to were actually students from there. And they said that was some of the best years of their life because they never felt like there was a staff member that they couldn't go to for help or to talk to. They had a lot of support. I thought this was great. All their classrooms, they don't have individual desks. It's all tables. There's a lot of group work, a lot of collaboration with the students. They had an after-school program and a club that was all recycled bicycles. So they would take parts from broken bicycles and make new bicycles to give out to the community. It was amazing. Their cafeteria. Okay, you guys know I love food. Their cafeteria felt like a restaurant. You came in, they had booths lining the walls. They had beautiful artwork. Each section was like for a different train, a different subway train. And they had multiple options for hot food, cold food, salad bar. It was amazing. The food looked great. So I'm not going to go through all these, but this is just an idea. A lot of this stuff goes on behind the scenes. These are the accomplishments that we've made so far with the grant since I was hired in March. This is all the stuff we have on deck so far, with stuff being added constantly. A lot of it, like we opened the Parent Community Center, which I oversee. But there's been multiple things. Bringing in the Parent Institute for Quality Education. So we have PK that's already at 2 sites. There'll be the other 2, the 2 elementary schools starting at the beginning of the calendar year. Any questions or comments? This is me, and this was me at the beginning of my position at every meeting. No idea what's going on.
So did you guys have any questions?
So, in regards to a community school, I see there's lots of moving parts and things to become a community school. So are we in fact considered a community school?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but we are on the way there. We're emerging right now. If you look at because I have a more detailed graph that tells you like what is involved in each step. We're considered emerging because we do have a lot of services, a lot of things, but we're not completely operating off of the shared decision making yet because I'm still working on our survey that's going to go out to parents. After that step, we then meet with, I will have 3 different focus teams. One will be where it's just me, and there'll be a staff focus team, and I'll be sending out emails for people that would like to join. There will be a parent and family and community focus team, and then I'll have a student focus team as well. And this is where they'll just give input and, their thoughts and ideas, things that are working, things that aren't. And then when the survey goes out, that'll give us like the defining information on the services and supports that the community needs.
So what do you forecast as to when we will be a fully functioning community school machine?
At the New York conference, they gave us a good timeline. They said first year as a community school coordinator is basically building relationships and partnerships. Second to third year is transforming into a community school. And he said by the 3rd to 5th year is when you can actually get to that step if all the moving pieces work properly. But one quote they did give, and because this is changing the education system, this isn't just a new thing that we're putting on. This is getting back to the core of why you started working in education to begin with, for the students, for their future, to support the families, to be there and be that core, that support in the safe space for not just the students, the families too. And so this is a long process. And, I heard someone in one of our sessions, the leader assessment said, you may not live to see the changes that you're putting in because it's going to take that long to get, the United States as a whole on board with this. It's not just a fly by the seat thing. This is something that it's a growing movement. Any other questions?
Thanks, Bella.
Thank you.
Okay. College and Career Coordinator, Mark Donovan.
Good evening, everybody. Mrs. Gaines, Cabinet, Board. Before I get started, I'm going to give you a quick personal story. When I was a junior in high school, I went to my high school guidance counselor, and I wanted to make sure that I was on the A through G track, right? That's what we call it now. Back then, I don't know what it was called, but it probably wasn't A through G. And my counselor looked at me and said, "What are you asking me this for? You're not going to go to college," right? And so that stuck with me, and I didn't go to college until I was in my 30s. And now 3 college degrees later, it's my ultimate goal to make sure that our students never feel that way. We have great counselors. Mr. Perry, Mr. Hansen are amazing. They would never tell a student that. However, it's my goal to make sure no student ever feels that college isn't obtainable for whatever reason, right? So my name is Mark Notterman. I'm the College and Career Coordinator. I service students at Roseman High School and Rare Earth High School. Right now, one of our big things is concurrent enrollment. Concurrent enrollment is when students go to college classes after the school day, and those college classes count for college and high school credit. Last school year, 22-23 school year, 93 out of 999 students took a college class, which is 9.3%. This year already, with summer and fall, we have 109 students that have taken college classes, and that's an increase of almost 2% and spring classes haven't even started yet. We're currently getting kids excited about it, registering them. There's a process that paperwork that has to be approved by ABC or Sarah Coastal for them to take the class, and then open enrollment for Allen Valley College is November 22nd. We currently this semester have 2 ABC classes on our campus. We have English 101 taught by the amazing Mrs. Carr, and we have a History 107, which is U.S. history to 1888 back to 1776. I had a meeting with ABC a week and a half or so ago, and they expressed their extreme pleasure and happiness of what we're doing on our campus. I took a lot of advice from Mrs. Carr because she's teaching on our campus. She told me what instructors from ABC needed. So we made sure they had those supplies. Ms. Alma and Mrs. Gaines made sure that those classrooms were equipped for the teachers to just come in, plug in their laptop, and teach the class. So because of everything that we did for them this semester, ABC is going to give us 3 classes in the spring. Mrs. Carr, she wants to teach English 101 on our campus only in the fall to kind of create exclusivity and excitement about it. But we're going to have the History 107 class again, a political science class, and they told me a foreign language class. We're hoping for Deaf Studies, ASL. However, they're having a hard time finding instructors for their campus, but if they can't do that, we're going to look at a Spanish class. And if we keep those 3 classes, and Mrs. Carr comes back and teaches in the next fall on our campus, that'll give us 4 classes, ABC classes on our campus. Another thing we've done is what Mr. Armstrong and I have called the Career Exploration Series, where we've taken students who are interested in a particular field and match them up with a professional in that field, and they were able to basically interview and get a day in the life. Miss Sunny Hepburn, our own board member, helped one of our students at Rare Earth who was interested in realty, or real estate, or like he said, I just want to sell land and make money. And I think he got a lot of good advice from Miss Hepburn. I think he probably went home that same day and hustled the property and sold it. So we also had one of our own RHS alum, Mr. Sean Temple. He's currently the city planner in Seal Beach, California. He met with one of our students who was interested in a career in city planning. So she got to meet with him and get a day in the life experience with him. And then one of our students is interested in the career in sports media. One of my best friends actually works for the San Jose Sharks hockey team in San Jose. So he met with our student and gave him the same thing, day in the life, education required, and just how to get your foot in the door with a pro sports team and get into their media department. So I think he got the most out of it because he was just so excited, and he came in super nervous, not knowing what to expect and how do I even get in this field, and he left with a plan in hand. We plan on continuing the series all year. Mr. Mario, I know I'm gonna hit you up when I have some kids interested in auto mechanics. With our CTE programs, there's going to be plenty. We also have been processing a lot of work permits. When they opened they reopened the West Park pool, Kern County Parks and Rec reached out to me and asked me to help them hire lifeguards. So we were able to hire 8 of our current and former students to man the lifeguard station at the pool. Their season just ended. But the county was very thankful for that, and our students, I think, were thankful for that. It's a good experience. Their certification, which the county trained them, is good for 2 years. So even if they go to college, they can lifeguard at the college pool, a water park, something like that, and it's just a good experience for them. We've planned some school visits and trips. We just went to UC Santa Barbara. The most exciting part about that trip is we had 4 former RHS students come find us on the tour, say hello, give hugs to some of the teachers, dap their friends up or whatever. But it was really cool for our students to see this is attainable. This is realistic for me to go to the school. We've had visits from CSUN, CSUB, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is coming on Friday, and the UCLA Cadet ROTC, was here thanks to Captain Wallace. One of the most scary things about going to college and
something that terrified me, not just the counselor telling me I couldn't do it, is how to pay for it, right? So scholarships and financial aid is a big part of what we're doing. We have created a QR code where students can just scan the QR code and get a list of scholarships on our website. This is definitely not a comprehensive list because there's billions of dollars in scholarship money out there. But it is just a list that gets updated, not every day, but every other day at least, on scholarships that are available. Mr. Moore's not here. I want to thank him. He sent me a Edison International $50,000 scholarship application just the other day. That's posted on our list. Mr. Wexler actually today or yesterday updated the school, the RHS website. The scholarship link is on the front page now, so it's a lot easier to find. FAFSA this year usually opens October 1st. They're streamlining the process, and by streamlining it, they pushed it back from October 1st to December 1st. Now it's the end of December, and they're probably going to push it back again to January. So in the meantime, we're helping students get their FSA ID numbers. So when FAFSA does open, they can just log on and upload their information. We are going to have 2 Cash for College nights, January 31st and March 13th. And that's where parents and students can come and see how to fill out the FAFSA, get everything done, how to apply for grants, scholarships, things like that. There's also a ton of resources for some of our homeless and foster youth. Dr. Mendez and I would just almost confirm the time and date for we're going to meet and share resources on our foster youth and homeless youth to help them get into school as well. We just had our Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Scholarship contest. Our HECC representative is Kara Nemeth, so she'll get a cord to wear at graduation, a little star next to her name in the program that says she was the Good Citizen recipient. She also participated in an essay contest, which we just sent out yesterday, so hopefully she will win some money for school as well. Upcoming things we have going on, we're planning a trip to the Antelope Valley College office for students with disabilities. We're taking some of our special ed students there, students with IEPs, so they can get a presentation on what things they can and can expect as far as accommodations go in the college classroom. I will be attending the California College Affordability Conference next week. I know Mrs. Gaines and Ms. Fallon were really excited about going to New York. Lots of exciting things in New York. I'm going to Riverside. So that'll be next week. Hopefully we'll get some more resources on how to help our kids afford college. And also Mr. Riley and Ms. Tinich are trying to coordinate a visit for the CTE students at Tropico to come to our CTE classrooms to vertically align the CTE programs. Mr. Riley took some students to Antelope Valley College's welding program. They got a great tour there. They showed our kids that you can go to college even if you want to be a welder, right? It's not just a books thing. It's a hands-on thing. Get your hands dirty and learn stuff thing as well. So, like I said, that's just some of the things we have going on. Like I said, up here and talk for 40 more minutes, but everybody wants to go home. It's Halloween was yesterday. So probably coming down from the candy right now. Does anybody have any questions? Captain Wallace, I have to commend your cadets because they stood up here and didn't stumble one bit, and I'm a sweating, dry mouth mess. So
You spoke very well.
What was that?
You spoke very well.
Oh, well, thank you. That's all I got. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. And you're not the only one I got told you weren't going to college. So we both proved it wrong.
Well, I want my goal is, thank you for reminding me, Mr. Whistler. My goal is I want kids to say, I'm successful because I went to Rosemont. Not I'm successful even though I went to Rosemont, right? And life's full of hurdles and hoops that you have to jump through. And I'm just trying to cut down the hurdles and expand the hoops.
RTA report.
All right, not much. First off, a thanks to the Cadet Corps for their presentation. Proud to say that Ryan Melchers was in my class. In fact, I taught him family. Then thanks to Alan Mitchell. I truly hope this works. Also thanks to Mark Donnerman. Please continue to make all believe they can go to college. My parents had to make me believe I could go. I just didn't have the grades in high school. They made me go to junior college. And something clicked there and I just took off. So,
Thanks for our students.
huh?
So thank you for our students that did, right?
Yeah. No, I've loved it here, yes. Let's see, then, just again, thanks to the site administrators and those in district office who continue to work with our RTA and myself. Meeting with Barbara Gaines for our monthly meeting tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to continuing negotiations. Otherwise, that's it. No real reports. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is anybody from CSEA here? You're up. I see that. Okay. And our student board member is attending the conference, FFA conference, so she does not have anything. CEO report, Mr. Irvin.
All right, first of all, thanks and congratulations to Alan and Mark and Cadet Corps for, all your presentations. As for me, I spent a good deal of time Monday with Carlos Rojas, who works for Kern County Superintendent of Schools as the Government Relations Officer. So his primary job is to be in Sacramento 3 weeks out of the month and then back in Bakersfield for a week so that he can go to superintendent and CBO meetings and tell us this is what direction the state legislature is looking on, new bills coming, what looks like it's going to pass, what looks like it's not. And then, part of his time is advocating for Kern County on, what changes do we need to see or what is, coming down the pipeline that will, adversely affect us. And, here's the Kern perspective, where I invited him out here so that he could get the Southern Kern perspective, because when people think of Kern County, a lot of them just think of what's happening in Bakersfield, and that, reflects the entire county, which obviously it doesn't. I mean, we're all here, we're about, 85, 90 miles away in the desert, closer to LA County than, the county seat. So I wanted them out here to see what's working for us, what isn't working for us, give a little bit of a tour of some of the campuses so that he can, when he's up there advocating, he knows who he's talking about and that it's not just, Kern High School District or, Rosedale or, which are, they're all fine districts other than, their needs are not necessarily our needs. So I think it was hopefully a good use of his time and my time to, be able to tell the Southern Kern story a little bit. And then as far as things upcoming, on Tuesday, November 7th, it's going to be a real busy day for the district. The AV wall is coming in, and I'll let Barbara talk a little bit about that without, stepping all over her toes, but also at Tropical Middle School. The last classroom building and restroom buildings are going to be brought in so that the footprint that is, mostly building with some, exposed foundation will be more buildings with less exposed foundations, and hopefully sooner than later, less giant piles of dirt where our playfield used to be and the new field down. And, at this point, knocking on wood, weather has been very cooperative, so it's not the slowdowns of that we had early on in the project with just all of the rains last winter. So, and then, November 9th, negotiations with RTA and CSEA. We'll start up with RTA and continue with CSEA. And all in all, it should be a good day. That is it for me.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent, Instruction and Curriculum, Dr. Mendez.
Good evening, everyone, and everyone that's connecting at home as well. Congratulations to Cadet Corps as well as the previous presentations this evening. I'd like to start off with talking a little bit about AVID. I participated on our monthly district director meetings with Marciano Flores. He's our AVID representative for the area. We discussed highlights. We also discussed AVID demonstration schools and some timelines, as well as AVID Summer Institute 2024 and other items related to AVID. So we just keep in contact on a monthly basis. We check in, share out how things are going, and then gather new information. Then that information gets disseminated with colleagues in regards to AVID. So there will be possible opportunities for visiting other sites and or perhaps other schools or districts visiting Southern Kern. That was something that came up in terms of discussion with the district directors in regards to networking opportunities is what Marciano Flores mentioned to us. In professional development, we have mid-November, we're going to have a professional development with Dr. Fisher, as well as Dr. Wetzel and Dr. Luis Cruz from Solution Tree. So these are different PD opportunities that our staff is going to be engaged in terms of participating. And then they typically provide opportunities for Q&A, question and answer sessions there as questions come up during the professional development. Also participated in the Instructional Leadership Network, and those are monthly meetings with KCSOS, Kern County Superintendent of Schools. Usually team members from KCSOS who join those are typically like Cindy Hutzar, as well as Dr. Lisa Gilbert, Deputy Superintendent of Instructional Support. Dr. Jonathan Gage, he works with us and meets with us. He was reviewing categorical funds. Carlos Rojas was there as well today, and he's the Assistant Soup of State and Local Initiatives. And then Greg West, who's the Director of Current Integrated Data Systems. And they provide updates as well as ways that we can engage in new opportunities with them and collaborate. And then any support or training, they also provide that information so that our team members can participate in that as well. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Okay, you're welcome. Assistant Superintendent, Special Education, Pupil Services. Ms. Taylor?
Hello, everybody. I too want to commend everybody that went before. Our cadets always amaze me, the discipline that they have. True leadership right there. Thank you to you for that. Fallon, with I think the district's efforts and your knowledge, we will have community schools. And Mark, yay, applause to you for letting all of our students know they can go to college. And thank you for incorporating special education as well in your trips and all the things that you do, because they too can go to college. I've had many of them come back and proudly tell me that they graduated from college. So yay to all of you. Now for other things, I have our Hope Squad is now working with the Comfort Bears and Catastrophe Organization. Anybody who would like to donate bears, we have boxes at each campus where they're collecting bears. Our Hope Squad members are all writing inspirational messages to kids who have been caught in catastrophe type situations. And those messages will be attached to the bears and they will be sent out to those students or kids. So that, let's see. Other than that, we've also had some Hope Squad members. This was a very proud moment. Some Hope Squad members decided to, on their own, try to inspire other students. So they got pads of sticky notes, wrote all kinds of inspirational messages on them, and went and posted them all over restrooms at school. So other kids were encouraged to take messages that meant something to them and then leave other messages. And it was admired so much that word got out about it, and parents were even commenting about it, and I think it even hit social media. So I want to acknowledge that because that was a tremendous deed that was acknowledged. And our board certified behavior analysts are now doing ABA therapy with a lot of our staff so that they know how to better teach some of our more moderate to severely disabled students. And they're also teaching them about different strategies and techniques to assist with students that have more behavioral concerns. And lastly, we are looking at a new curriculum for our students with mild to moderate disabilities. It's called N2Y. It is a online program as well as a hard copy, and it's research-based. It's aligned with state standards, and it's developed specifically for students with special needs, and it's tiered in 3 different levels to address all of their needs. And it will allow them to experience all the curriculum, all the subjects, as well as activities, experiments, everything. And it's an amazing program. It encompasses parent involvement as well and ensures compliance and efficacy. And it also links with IEPs and goals. So super excited about the possibility of bringing that to Southern Kern. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Associate Superintendent, Human Resources, Ms. Hargis.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your presentations and congratulations to the Cadet Corps that promoted to their different categories. Great job for them. HR is busy. We're kind of in a constant state of filling holes. We had some interviews held yesterday for some open CSO positions around the district. Something exciting, we have, and it's probably even a higher number than this, but 5 or 6 of our classified that are finishing up programs, earning their bachelor's degrees, and becoming substitute teachers, moving into the classroom. So that is really exciting that we're being, able to, hopefully promote some of our folks from within to some of those teaching positions that we'll have open in the future. So congratulations to those, and keep on working hard. Our substitute teacher folders, sites are working on those, and hopefully they will be ready for use starting November 13th. And that is it.
So they like the idea of those folders?
Yeah, they do like the idea of those. We
Good.
just have to, we've ordered the binders and we're waiting for the binders to come in, the pocket pouches, get a little pocket pouches to put inside for referrals and office pouches, those kinds of things. So,
I learned a lot when I'm out there, obviously.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
that was one of the things because it was, in fact, Sunny gets to start tomorrow and I've been telling her what to kind of expect because
That's what
so we have, to get ready. Because when I get for my first day, it was like, but after I got see things and so forth, and I bring back things, as you're well aware.
Yes.
So, and I will continue to do so. And I know Sunny will too. Okay, Superintendent reports, Ms. Gaines.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Good evening and welcome to everyone who's here with us and those parents joining us from home. A lot to be excited about this evening and just listening to the presentations. First of all, Captain Wallace, I remember my first board member when the discussion, my first board meeting, when the discussion was that Southern Kern had lost ROTC and they were trying to bring in Cadet Corps. I could just salute you, I probably do it wrong, but what you have done with the Cadet Corps in such a short span of time. And I know the cream of the crop of our students are often in the Cadet Corps, but I know that a lot of them have really become very focused and very more of a structured human being, thanks to your leadership and the program that you promote on a daily basis. I could cry every time I see them. They're just,
They make me cry occasionally too.
they're, I don't know, I don't know how you just, they're just amazing, amazing young people, and so proud of them. And I'm going to take a little bit of credit. I don't like to do it, but I'm going to take a little bit of credit for Fallon and Mark, because I kind of picked them both. So you can all just say to me a little bit there, just a teeny bit, but they have, it's not easy to take a grant that's on paper and then implement it. And that Fallon has just jumped on that bandwagon, and it just has a plethora of ideas. And Mark, you're doing an amazing job. When I go to ABC, I hear about you.
Oh, good.
So it's good. It's good, Mark. So I could not be more proud of the two of you and the work that you do on a daily basis. It's not easy to get something started. And so you're both doing a great job. I just want to say that as far as negotiations, John, we're excited to get started with RTA and continue with CSEA. So hopefully we're going to get to that point where we're all have a smile on our face. I look forward to that. I just want to say about the wall. The wall will be arriving at West Park on November 7th. We're guessing somewhere around maybe 9:15 in the morning, and then it will be set up where our goal is to have to actually open the gates at around 4 p.m. on November 7th. And from that point forward, it'll be open 24 hours a day until about 3 p.m. on November 12th, when we actually break the wall down. And I want to say this community, not just our Southern Kern family, but the entire community of Roseman has done a phenomenal job. We have received, and I hear all the time that there's actually more that's supposedly coming in. We've received over $19,000 in donations to make sure that we have we have security in the evening, and that we have the tents that we need to, everything to accommodate all of our visitors that are coming from all over the state for this wall. And I just want to say to the community, if you're listening, thank you so much. And we've had 2 trainings for volunteers, and today was our second training. And I think between the 2 trainings, we've had almost 90 people trained to volunteer at that wall. And so we want to honor them after Thanksgiving, after Christmas, and early January with a luncheon here in Roseman, to just say thank you for everything that you did to make this wall, the reality of this wall coming to Southern Kern a reality. I also want to say that Southern Kern Unified School District has joined the bandwagon in collecting toys for our children in this community. I have toy boxes in my office. This is a project of the Roseman Chamber of Commerce. They want to distribute these toys on December 2nd during the Christmas parade, the day of the parade. So they do not want the toys wrapped, so that they can look at a toy and know maybe they're going to wrap them, what age bracket, what gender this toy would best fit. So if you've got some spare money and want to do some shopping, I know that we probably have some toys being collected at the sites, at the elementary maybe, or in your offices, I'm looking at you. Please do, or come and get a box from Alma. We would like to do our fair share and try to provide as many new toys as we can from toddler on up through high school, so that we can meet the needs of our community students. And I think that is probably about it for me today. Thank you.
Thank you. More communications. Adrian.
Okay. So first of all, like everyone else, thank you to Mr. Wallace and the cadets for your presentation this evening, and a congratulations to the cadets who promoted. That's amazing, and I hope that they stick with it and continue to move forward. Miss Mitchell, thank you for all of your literature. I'm looking through that. It seems like you really did, these are all of your accomplishments? Yes, so. Should all really take a look at that.
Our accomplishments.
And then everything that's upcoming, I like what you did there, so I appreciate that. Mr. Notterman, thank you for what you're doing. Showing the students that college is attainable, definitely. Just to both you and Mr. Wallace, thank you also for encouraging, basically the military college. I think it's very important to show that there are two avenues that can be taken. It's not just college, or it's not just the military. They're both very important. And Ms. Mitchell, I like what you said when you said there's a lot going on behind the scenes. That is true. Not just for you, but with every site here on the board, and everything else within the district. Thank you also for the school site. I think this is amazing. When I get the board reports. I would like to know how the PSAT, how is that sent out to kids at the high school to, kind of tell the students that aren't really sure what the PSATs are for, I remember in high school I was like, what is that? So how do we know that this is reaching everybody?
So that's, I don't want to pass the buck because it's not at all, that's more, right now, Mr. Perry, Mr. Hanson are taking control of that, they're proctoring exams, they're helping the students sign up, they have the fee waiver codes and stuff like that. Slowly, I'll be taking over that aspect as well, because my goal is to make sure that the counselors can do their jobs and focus on the 15 kids that we have, and I can take care of all the college stuff. That hasn't happened yet as far as SATs and PSATs go. But that being said, when students do come to me and ask me about it, I let them know that, the SATs are basically West Coast and the ACTs are more East Coast, but it's just kind of an aptitude test that colleges look at. A lot of California schools, the UCs and the CSUs are kind of phasing them out or not really placing so much weight on them. So I let the students know honestly, because there is a cost to take these tests. I let them know, check your schools. If you want to go to, Cal State Long Beach, for instance, and they're not requiring the SATs, then there's not really a reason to take it. Right. Because it's going to cost you money, it's going to stress you out, freak you out, and then you're going to have super anxiety waiting for your scores to come. So if your schools don't require it, then you have to. Right. And that being said, if your school does require it, then yes. And there's study materials available that we have that we help refine and help them get stuff. Same thing with the ASVAB test. I have a ton of study material.
That's great.
A couple of the recruiters that come in, I've talked to, they've given me tons of resources on study materials. They themselves can't give a student study materials because they'll say, oh, the Marines took care of me, but the Air Force didn't, so it makes it look like favoritism in a way, right? Right. So if it comes from me, then there's no conflict of interest, so to speak. And I make sure that Captain Wallace has some of the materials, Ms. Addis, our resource teacher, has them for her students. And anytime a student asks me about ASVAB, make sure to give them that information.
add something to the, we were at an Army Career Day last week and got some of the latest things they're doing to help young people get good scores and get in the right career track. But there's a program which, and I'll make sure Mark and all our counselors know, it's called March to Success. March, the 2 is a number 2. And students can use that to prepare for the ASVAB, also prepare for college tests. And we're going to try to incorporate that into one of our cadet courses, so make it part of the curriculum throughout the year.
That's great. Actually, about the video that was played, do we show that to like elementary? You know, obviously we don't do cadet corps in elementary, but maybe like the 5th graders that are their students or parents are kind of interested in that and really have no clue what it is.
It's a brand new video, but our public affairs people are mainly one person. He is really working hard to help us get the word out in a way that is more, that shows the non-military benefits of Cadet Corps that people may not know about, like things like preparing for various career pathways. So yeah, we could plan some trips to the elementary schools and make sure they know, get some exposure to them.
Yeah, great. Let's see. And I'm taking a lot of your time, everybody. Let's see. I like the fact that we had Picture Day go out to Abraham Lincoln and Rare Earths, because I think that they had been skipped over, I had heard, and kind of gotten new IDs for quite some time. So I'm glad that they were able to get that done. RES, it looks like we're still having an issue with the bushes and like shrubbery. Is that I think that was brought up a couple meetings ago.
What's that? What's the issue? They're dangerous. And they're ugly.
Is it on campus or?
It's on campus.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's just, it's hard to meet people in between their classrooms.
Or the ones by the, to be honest, all of them. Yeah. We have kids that run and they run into those things. Adults have to go after them sometimes. They're dangerous. And they, but some of them have thorns. They're not. The ones that surround the field are flat on other, to be honest. And they're just trash trucks.
Thank you for that. Thank you for highlighting that. And I'm glad, a positive, that the parent conference attendance was higher than last year, and the fall dance was packed. So
They are packing those.
yeah,
That's good.
that's great. Parent support continues to grow in the form of volunteers and parents taking an active role in their students' education, which I think is fantastic. So I will end mine with that. Just thank you to everyone this evening, and throw it back to you guys. Hey, I gotta take my chance.
Captain Wallace, your cadet corps is the discipline, how they present themselves is great. They are really tribute to your work. Fallon, that's great with what you're doing. It's amazing that you have gotten so much done in such a short amount of time. Because I know what it takes to get a new program going. It seems like it takes forever. And you've done it in a year and a half.
Year and a half, just over what?
Well, months, but when did you start? You really
March.
started before that. You can't tell me you didn't. Mark, the stuff you're doing with getting kids ready for college is great. Especially making sure that they they know that they can do that. I never planned on going to college. I ended up going to a 2-year trade school. And then after I got out of there, I did go back to college.
I'm so sorry. On our scholarship page, there's also scholarships there for trade schools. So it's not, a trade school isn't any less, right? And students, if they want to go to trade school,
It's
I'm
hard.
pumping them up for
Trade
that.
schools are hard. I thought it would be a whole lot easier, but I ended up spending so many nights reading homework that I wish I was out partying somewhere. And when I got out, I thought, well, maybe I need to go back to school and learn how to read a little bit better, or my English will be better, my grammar would get better. And next thing I know, I've got 3 years in, and if I hadn't argued with my sociology teacher so much, I probably would have got my degree, but I got pissed off at that. I never went back. Anyways, I think you're doing a great job. Thank you. With that, I pass that over.
Hello, everybody that's still here. Good to see you guys. I was actually able to attend back to school night. So I made it to the high school for back to school night. I made it to West Park for back to school night. I got to talk to my students, teachers, and kind of get on the same page and see what's going on in class. Where my kids tell me one thing, teachers tell me another thing, and we're sorting it out. This week you guys did a great job. Everybody told you this. But
We'll hear it again.
actually, Mrs. Christina Hillman reached out to me and said that her student really appreciated speaking to me and he was like inspired and everything. I was like, what? Stop it. He can talk to me anytime he wants. Like, let's have a conversation, no problem. But I was able to go to Mrs. Morris's first grade Halloween party this week. And let me tell you, our classroom mom, Diane Tunnell, she set up really great like stations and all these things for the kids to play and stuff. And I was just like involved in helping them play games. And I was on the floor for too long because the next day I was like, oh my God, my knees hurt. What was I doing? And it was hanging out with first graders. So it was a good time. I got to talk to the kids and they're just like so innocent at that age and they want to help each other. And, they had a challenging little, they had to do a hoop toss thing. And some kids were like, oh. And other kids were like, it's okay, you can try it again. I was like, I love this. Like, keep it going. They're so cute at that age. I was able to go to the award ceremony at West Park as well today. That was great. I want to say thank you to the volunteers that were at the Halloween party at Mrs. Morris's class. And one thing I did notice, I just noticed it, like, and it's hard, like you're talking about with your bushes and stuff, even in front of West Park and around, it's just trash. Kids just, the wind takes it. So, I'll, like, if I walk around, I see trash, I'll pick it up. So let's just, like, start reiterating to the families, because I've seen parents just drop the trash on the floor and, like,
I don't think there's any trash cans in front of.
put it in your pocket and take it with you. Take it home and throw it in the trash. Right? I'm just saying, let's remind people, hey, throw it in the trash. Like, keep your community clean. Y'all live here. This is your school. Take some pride in it. Pick up the trash. You guys hate trash day when everyone's trash blows in your yard. You got to pick it up. So let's just reinforce that. Pick up the trash. That's all I have. Thank you guys. That's it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with, and this is basically for Tropico Middle School. There has been a lot of complaints out there concerning parents who don't understand how to drive in a school zone. I'm serious in this, and there's one parent that was really concerned that their child almost got hit, not once, but twice, walking from Roseman Boulevard to the school. So I think probably Tropico needs to put a message out to the parents and keep reminding them. I know they've asked about sheriffs showing up or CHP, but trying to get them there is not an easy task. Good. But are they there when we need them?
They had a couple of people outside.
Okay, that's good to hear, but yeah, that's a reminder to parents, this is what these kids are. I mean, I drive up and down and I get a bus that pulls up, that red light comes on, I stop, I say, people go around me. I wish I had the authority to write tickets because we'd make some money, but that's gotta stop, okay? And some of you have seen some of the cartoons that I've actually forwarded on about, this is not a suggestion, pointing to the stop signs. Mark, Fallon, great jobs. I know we're gonna keep everybody there. I talked with Mark a little bit because we do have that one thing in common. We had counselors tell us we weren't going to college.
I did too.
Okay? I don't wanna ever hear that. Ever, ever, ever. Because that is not right. I started a little earlier than you did, Mark, but I still got my master's. So, but the thing is that kids are going to make it on their own and by their own way of doing it. Doesn't matter, we can sit there and talk to them blue in the face, but we gotta still, let them know it's there and so forth. Don't tell them, you're not gonna go there, you gotta go here. No, never. You might suggest that, but never tell them like I was told. All those teachers, all the staff, I've had the opportunity to, as I mentioned, to substitute, so I know what, as a substitute, they all think they can get away with things, but they don't with me, and I've had a lot of good other substitutes who have taught me. But I appreciate all the teachers, because I know I can see what they go through, but the one thing that nobody sees what everybody goes through is our CSEA folks. You guys do a phenomenal job out there for us. Keep it up. I know it's tough, so forth. But I'm gonna let you know it's well appreciated by me, and I'm sure by the students. And that's what we're here for. Everything we do here is for students. Everything you see, everything that goes on, everything I try to do. The last thing is that I've been into some CTE classes, and the one thing is they have shoehorned the programs into existing classrooms. It doesn't work. And one that I'm thinking of is that they got a studio, not a barrier or anything, and then the regular classroom with all the computers in that. And the poor kids are trying to do audio, and the kids are over there talking. So it doesn't work. And I know Captain Wallace has talked to me a little bit about the CTE program. When we start looking at buildings for CTE, we want to make sure we build the CTE around the buildings around the CTE programs, not shoehorn them into existing. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And I know it's just now kind of getting into the discussion phase, but I want everybody to know what my thoughts are there. We got to look at it. I know Captain Wallace goes, hey, I like that's up in Porterville. We need to do that. He's right. How we can do it? Well, that's something we've got to look at and plan in the future. But at least everybody should know that we are looking out for those kids and program and make sure that we get them what's right. And that's all I'm going to bring up. Subcommittees, anything?
Well, Tropico's on track. There's another set of buildings coming in, and the last bathroom will be installed at that same time. Then the flat work will start after that, which is all the cement. And you'll be happy to know that we took out all bushes at Tropico for the new section. They had a whole bunch of them set up. It's like, no, we don't want any of that. Get rid of them. We want walkways, cement. So they, especially at Tropico, the kids are going to be, horse playing and everything else over there. So we didn't do any bushes.
The date says it didn't solve this problem.
No, I know. We'll work on that.
There's one school before they put down the cement, they turn around and just let the kids make pathways and then put the cement. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But it did work.
if you can get the DSA to approve that,
No, you know they won't.
the Department of, they drive me nuts. They're constantly, never mind.
Yeah, I know, but I had to bring it up. Okay. Anything
Then,
else, sir?
the cafeteria project is moving along real well. Most of the groundwork is finished as far as the compacting and you don't know what's going on, but we're doing a new cafeteria.
Oh,
was
the
like,
high
where?
school, I'm
At the high
sorry.
school.
Oh,
She was like,
yay.
where is
Yay, good for the high school.
I was happy the blacktop was back.
And, yeah, we'll be tearing down a lot of the blacktop to re-put all new blacktop in.
That you said shut time, because I want to shoot those hoops today, they were just like.
Yeah, and, well, they're gonna be losing a lot of other stuff there for a little while until we get that finished up. We have another project that we will hopefully be breaking ground about the time we finish up Tropico over at West Park, but we'll have more information on that later on. And for now, that's it.
Safety and security, Robert, you got any ideas when we get the next meeting?
Don't at the moment because getting everyone scheduled together has been hurting cats.
Yeah.
Actually, Bob, I can speak on that if you'll allow me. I am planning, as a matter of fact, I asked, coincidentally, you should ask, I asked Alma today to give me the list of the entire committee. I'm gonna be calling a meeting, I'm inviting you probably, and my goal is next week, if the law allows me to get to it.
And I won't be there.
And you won't be there.
Hurting cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we need to have
Yes.
a meeting. Some
Yes.
of the committee members have approached me and are like, there's a little limbo there.
It's been on my mind and so forth. Robert, anything on catapult?
Yeah, there's an information item on the board agenda.
Okay.
So I was gonna go through the quote and kind of, there's a lot to it, so I want to talk about each of the pieces.
Okay. All right, that takes care of that. Comments from the public?
None.
None? We'll discuss it with reading. Consent items A through J. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
About, item D, the billboards and the 80, how many billboards do we have actually?
Two. Yes, we have one that is on the, Northbound 14 freeway, that should pull into Longdale. It's, kind of right there by like Vincent Hill.
Okay.
So that's down, and then there is a electronic one that is right there, the entrance you see from.
And can I ask a question real quick before we go any further? On the same billboard stuff, what do you think the results are with that? Are they showing results?
I think it gets us, I mean, we have had people that have commented on them, oh, I saw your billboard. But I think it just puts us out there that, hey, you know what, Southern Current is here, so that people are aware, because we are kind of at the far end of the valley. So, I think it does benefit us.
Do we have like a questionnaire where it's like, hey, where did you hear from that billboard? So we could like track it.
We
But
don't-
every time I see it, I'm like, ooh, look at our sign. And you're like saying about 1960.
No further discussions? We'll have,
I'll make a motion that we accept.
I'll second. All in favor?
I
General approved by Southern Current Unified School District Board to file Form J-13A for the school closure on August 21st, 2023 due to Hurricane Hillary. Steve?
Yes, and that form is in your packet. I believe, I'm not sure exactly what page. 44. Let's see oh yeah, there it is, off to the right. Page 44, if you need to take a look at that. We are filling this form out. So so that we will have sort of like a waiver for the day that we took off due to the hurricane. We're hoping to get that approved.
So we would still have to use our incremental day for the year though, right, or no?
No.
So if we get this approved, we won't have to use our incremental.
Right. Unless we have another,
Got it.
another day down the road.
I'll get the motion to accept the, or approve the application.
I'll second that.
Second by Hepburn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Southern Kern Unified School District's Integrated Emergency Solutions, WeTip Reporting, and Catapult Emergency Management System, and anonymous reporting tool that integrates with a full emergency management system that is digital. Mr. Irvin.
All right. So bringing this as a information item mostly because, well, two reasons. The actual quote wasn't ready by the time the board packet was due. So can, get approved and then be like, oh, by the way, here's the real cost. But also the way the quote is and the way the program is, I think requires a little bit more of a deeper dive. So if you look at page 49 of your packets, sorry, people in the crowd, I didn't make copies. But one of the things that come with Catapult and are part of it is something called WeTip, which is similar to what the district currently uses with Stop It in terms of it's a anonymous reporting system that integrates with the emergency management system itself, Catapult, where with the WeTip Anonymous, it has a couple things of we have local access to it, so if something happens and it's not very severe, like the site admin can be notified of there's the latest I heard threat of X, Y, or Z, or this is happening, or signs of graffiti where maybe a little bit lower level, but it can also be quickly escalated if it's something that's more severe to sheriff or CHP or the next level above us. And then it also has 24/7 support so that it's not solely reliant on hey administrators, you need to be tapped into your email all the time every day 24/7. Let's go, we're gonna grind this out so that if we're on a holiday break or it's a weekend and something that hits a red flag gets seen, that somebody somewhere is notifying them that we're not, finding out, Monday morning of, oh, by the way, this happened Saturday night. So that's what the WeTip part of it is. On the third page of the quote, there's the price for WeTip for the district would be $0. As part of California School Risk Management, being our JPA for property liability, and they cover the cost of WeTip. We don't pay anything out of pocket for that. We don't even get the bill. It'll go straight to the risk management. The things that the district would have to pay for would be Catapult, which itself is a full suite emergency management system. It does a number of things where last spring through the summer into the fall of this year, I've met with several different companies that all kind of work in the same vein. And really what I would like to do is go the a la carte option of I like what one thing that this company does, another that another does, and then, but weirdly enough, they won't let me do that. And instead of, having 3 systems running simultaneously, I think Catapult is best suited for what the district needs. It allows for all of our safety plans on what to do in certain emergencies to, be uploaded into software that's either accessible through an app or on a computer. Okay, the water is out at Tropico. What's the playbook call for this? Okay, here it is. All the evacuation routes are uploaded to it. All of our campus maps are uploaded to it, as well as if there's a threat on campus, it's as easy as a couple swipes on the phone, and then everybody that has the app is alerted. It can be, if it's on the district IP, it can, when the alert goes out, all computers will be, have push notifications so that it's, notifying multiple ways. There we go. Additionally, as part of the quote is a feasibility study to tie it into the PA system. So again, that we don't have several things that do quasi the same thing running simultaneously. It's encompasses everything from the cell phone to the computer to the PA system. I believe that the campuses that are already on voice over IP would be compatible with, and then as we integrate West Park and Tropico, they would, come into the fold as well. Let's see. There are other things that have in the quote that we may or may not want, which is another reason it's an information item, such as the ability to do student alerts. We don't have to. We can. My thought is if we did it, it would be, at the secondary, obviously. There's, no point sending student alerts, I don't think, to the elementary other than, to add some more, chaos and freaking out. But that's one of the things we can or can't do. We have choices there. It's not, And then on top of the WE tip, the other major thing that this has going with it is that it can be incorporated with our student information system for setting up emergency contacts. So in the event that there is a full-scale emergency and campuses have to be evacuated or moved, we have access to it uploads nightly, but it will pull student information of whose class should they be in, who are their emergency contacts, have they been checked in, have they not been checked in, and it's all, it can be set up again through phone, tablet, computer, so that if it's, the worst case scenario, we're not necessarily relying on going through paper cards and spending several hours trying to, work through reunification at a campus of 900 students, one by one, making sure that, okay, yes, here's the piece of paper that got, submitted. Okay, this contact information hasn't been, maybe updated in areas, but it hasn't, made it to the hard copy of it, where this will, be able to be a real-time notification as well as when updates are made and it's going through and updating itself nightly, pulling in that new data that was entered that day. As part of the rollout would be 4 to 6 weeks and include training for administrators on what does the administrative end look like, what is building out a safety team for a campus look like, as well as just hands-on training for the end user, so that if a teacher or a para or whoever is doing something that they've had training with folks at Catapult to know what they're doing with it, on top of just kind of guessing it. I think this is it. This is based off of what the interface is. So, does anybody have any questions or thoughts, suggestions?
Our current software for the Clockwell paging systems is single wire and Formacast, and it can do a lot of what Catapult does. And we already have it installed.
Didn't hear a word you said, Dan. Sorry. Could you speak up louder?
We have the software that we have for our Clockbell paging systems is called Single Wire and Formacast, and we already have that software, and it can do a lot of what Catapult can do as far as sending out alerts and emergency messages and broadcasting through the voice the voice over IP phone system and through the clock bell paging system. So we just need to, we need to consider that we already have software that can do a lot of what we're talking about here.
Do we know we have software that does that?
Yeah, we did it for the Great Shakeout.
Oh, okay.
So just get with Sean and me and let's figure it out.
Did you say that you would be able to pick and choose what would be in this?
Parts of it, yes. So stuff like student notification, whether or not we want to do the integration with the PA system. But, you know, there's some of it that is just the base product itself that, you know, the integration with Aries, the uploading of campus maps and safety plans of, in this kind of event, this is, okay, this is, you know, where we evacuate to, what the proper procedure is for, you know, fire, you know, look, you know, make sure your classroom door is open, evacuate here with your buckets, you know.
Basically, I was talking with Sunny, the board is interested, Lancaster School District has Catapult and are willing to give us a demo. So if we want to do that, when we get back, I can set that up.
I know ABC has something, I don't know if it's anything like this, but they use rates. And that like sends out, I mean, you can opt in or out when you are enrolling in a college, and it sends out some type of, you know, in case, in an emergency, it gets sent out to whoever. And it's, you know, pretty immediate, so that would be nice. But I think it's definitely a lot of information, so.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
What we talked about it. See if we want to set up and do that. Okay, that's it, Mr.
Yeah.
Okay, business operations, award bid request for proposal, Southern Current Unified School District, low voltage equipment for Tropical Middle School, 28 new classrooms, RFP number 2023-06 to SHI for $280,928.99.
So this is the low voltage and classroom AV systems for the 28 new classrooms at Tropical Middle School. We submitted an RFP that we got board approval. We submitted an RFP. We've received two bids. One bid was from SHI, which is the winning bid, which is for $208,000. The other bid was from Oasis for $524,000. So we went with a $208,000 bid. This is Promethean boards, phones, network switches, voice amplification systems for the 28 new classrooms. So I recommend accepting the winning bid from SHI.
Okay,
I make the motion.
I'm going to ask you to integrate with the current system as well.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Sunny, anybody doing a second?
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you want me to talk about the next one?
Well, the next one up is the, board bid for proposal to Curtin Unified School District voice over IP phone system equipment for West Park Elementary School, RFP number 2023-07 to SHI for $141,413.44.
So this is for the new voice over IP phone system and clock bell paging system for West Park Elementary School. We submitted a request for proposals. We received two bids. One, the winning bid from SH $141,000. The losing bid was from Oasis for $225,000. So we went with a lower price. This is for replacing all of the phones and the clock bell paging system at West Park Elementary School.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Randy. All in favor?
Aye.
Personnel items, Ms. Hargis.
We ask that you approve all of our personnel items as written.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Me?
Okay. Do I have a motion?
The motion that we accept as written.
Second.
Second by Hepburn, all in favor? Aye. Last but not least,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Oh my
8:58. All in favor?
Aye.